Hi guys, welcome to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. How you all doing? How you all doing after the last video? A little bit of a challenging video. Yeah, I always knew it was going to cause controversy, and a lot of people just have a stance on it and that's it. I get it, but there you go. There's not much I can do. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has the right to say what they feel, and just remember this, guys. Many people who have that right to say what they say, and sometimes when they can be, a little bit heartless when they say things, they've never had to go through such challenging situations. I'll give you an example, a prime example, which I saw so often. This is a kind of nothing like what I'm talking about, but it just gives you an idea of the way people are. When a person is so judgmental towards another about whatever their situation is, if that very same person is confronted with the same situation, you'll see them fall faster and actually do what they were criticizing or judging. It's really true. I've seen it so many times. It's really interesting. But anyway, guys, today's a beautiful day and we're going to tackle a more different subject today. And this subject is about men, because a few of you said yesterday about the video, which was so true. I didn't tackle the aspect of the men, the father. The men go through such challenging emotional turmoil as well for the rest of their life, which I should have done, I didn't. But then it got me thinking a little bit, and I thought maybe I should start tackling subjects for men. So I will today. And the subject I'm going to tackle is crying. And it's something which is a very taboo thing with men, because as men, when we were younger, we were brought up with the father figure of, you must fix things, you must, repair things. That's our job, fix things, get it fixed, sort it, stop crying, what's wrong with you, stop being a big baby, grow up, be a man, So we've been used to this energy that we feel that we can't express ourselves, and through any sort of fear, we have to shut off and become the stronger for everybody around us, for our wife, for our children. And we feel that's our job. We feel that's our purpose in life. And that is a real dark energy and causes a lot of people who take their life. A lot of men take their life because of that reason. You think it's because, they've lost their job and they can't afford to pay, or they've just got divorced and, they've lost their house. No, it's because they've been so programmed by their mothers and fathers and the system to believe that they have to fix everything. That's their job. And it causes so much damage. Come closer, guys. Come a little bit closer. Okay. It causes so much damage, and it causes so much suffering in us men. And I am a prime example of that. I have sabotaged my life almost every day because of the belief system that I should be strong, that I should do this, and I should be able to fix that. And I'll give you a prime example. One of my issues in life is whenever I see whoever I'm with, my partner, somebody who I love, if ever I see them sad, I instantly blame myself. I'm opening up now. Did you hear what I said? I blame myself. It's my fault. It's not their fault. Now here's the strange thing. I blame myself and then I get angry. And then she looks at me and says, "What's wrong with you?" And I say, "Nothing." And then I try to fix it by saying, "Look at your life and look at this and this isn't." And then they get upset and cry more because they just want to feel sad, and they just want to go through the emotion of those emotions that any living soul goes through. And us men, whenever we get upset, the feminine or whoever, our partners, come and give us a cuddle. But we react in such a negative way because we think we should, if they're upset, it's because of us. We take it personally, and then we get upset, and then there's a vicious circle. And what happens is then it never stops, and it gets worse and worse. And as men, we believe that we should be able to fix everything, and if our partners or our children aren't happy, then it's our fault, because as men we should fix it. That's what we've been told. This is what we've been programmed to believe. This is what we should do. If it's broken, I'll fix it. Give me that toy, I'll fix it. Give me the car, I'll fix it. Give me the house, bits and pieces, I'll paint it, I'll fix it. Right, it's done, I'm a man. You see? So we've lost, and I believe with my whole heart, this was a deliberate manipulation. It is to keep men free from the feminine within, because each of us has feminine and masculine. Each woman has masculine and feminine. We all have part of that. But somebody very cleverly realized that if they could separate that, they could cause a separation with the male and female. But if the male embraced the feminine, then the male would understand that when the female is sad and crying, that they would go over, because they would now open up their feminine side and give them a hug and simply listen to them and not judge and not feel as if it was their fault because we need to fix it. Do you understand this? Are you getting this, guys? Because what I'm trying to say is it's not your fault. However, you have to recognize the self-sabotage, the aggression that comes out, because you might not recognize that. You might think there's something wrong with you, and there isn't anything wrong with you. It's just an instant reaction because you think you need to fix your partner instantly, and you can't fix them. You can't fix anybody. But what you can do is start to fix yourself. So when your partner gets upset, you go over and you give them a cuddle and you listen. And you don't judge, you don't tell them what to do, you don't try and fix them, you don't try and tell them what's wrong, you just give them a cuddle and encourage them and say everything will be okay. Because guys, if you are with somebody and you've lived with them for 20 years, then you know that they're okay because they've been through everything and they're still here. So it's how we react to them moments when our partners are sad. So going back to the male energy, one of the reasons why we don't cry is because we don't want anybody else to feel our suffering and pain. We don't want to think that anybody else would see us weak. Don't cry, you silly girl. What's wrong with you? Grow up, you see? And this has been taken away, the compassion within ourselves, the ability to be able to release, the gift to be able to feel our feminine within us without us thinking we're woofties or, oh, you're gay, you're this. My dad used to call me gay because I was a hairdresser and I used to do my hair in the mirror, and my dad used to be so anti-gay or anti-everything. He hated everything, really. And he used to say, you're a puff. And I just used to laugh. It just used to make me laugh, right? Because it didn't bother me, but, because the guy was cuckoo, obviously. And but I wasn't feminine. I was expressing myself. I was doing my hair and I wanted it to look nice, So I kind of think that my dad was... I don't blame my dad, but I do see that my dad gave me the challenge to overcome those obstacles. And I'm telling you guys, you understand what I'm saying, how hard it is to break free from that, how hard a pattern it is to break free from us feeling personally attacked when our partners or anybody around us we love are feeling bad and upset because we think we should fix it. So I remember once a guy came to see me, and I could feel that he's never cried in his life. He was a big guy, a really big guy, about 6'7", 6'8", big guy, and very strong handshake, and nice, pleasant gentleman. And he lied down on my healing bed, and I instantly felt in his heart. My hand went straight to his heart, and coincidentally, I had a Moldavite. This is the Moldavite, guys, that we're drawing in a couple of days. So I had a Moldavite, not too similar to this, to be honest. It was a bit more of a teardrop, not as beautiful as this, but it was really nice. And it was in my hand, and my other hand was on his heart. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Moldavite is an amazing crystal for men. And the reason why is because it helps you open up. And I remember placing my hand on his heart, and within a matter of a few minutes, he started. His eyes were closed, and He started the shaking of the lip, and all of a sudden the eyes started streaming. And I realised at that moment now, I took my Moldavite off and put it in his hand. So he had it in his hand because I knew now the healing work was about to be done. And I normally do a healing session for 1 hour. But I remember giving this man a healing session for about 1 hour and 45 minutes. My other client was downstairs and they were waiting, but it didn't matter. And this man was releasing. And I had a big smile on my face all the way through, because it never affects me. I know that this is a beautiful thing. What was happening was a release of all his life, his full life. And I knew at that moment he'd never had a healing session in his life. And what was being released was the suffering of all what I talk about. The man mentality, the ego, or the proud energy that we are bombarded with through social media, through how a man should be, all those things. I have to say, I could feel one of the things that was affecting him was, and this is another subject too, guys, was the size of his thing down there. It wasn't huge, so he obviously had a lot of stick from whether that is the social media of men being big, and a lot of women play a part in this by saying, if it isn't big, it's not good enough, or if it isn't wide, or the girth and this, and it really is a really horrible thing for a man to go through that. And when all's said and done, we all go through our challenges, of course we do, but I could see how much pain and suffering he was going through this. And through the 1 hour and 45 minutes it was being released. And you may ask, how did I know that about him? Sometimes I feel things, not I felt physically, I just felt this. He had an issue down below, and then I could feel all of those emotions, that he was inadequate, or all the suffering he had at school, probably after playing rugby in the showers, people laughing and things like that, So I could feel this release. And when I'd finished, he looked at me and got up, and that man's life changed in that moment. He completely changed, because for the first time in his life, he was able to release. And that's when one of the reasons when I knew that Moldavite has an amazing ability to help release the pain and suffering that we hold inside us, not only for men but for women too. And I guess the moral of today's story is the power of Moldavite, which has always fascinated me, always, Moldavite. And I guess over the 15 years I've been working with Moldavite and collecting Moldavite, not to sell it, but to work with it, because each piece has a beautiful meaning. I've ended up now, 15 years on, probably got one of the biggest websites with more Moldavites on it than any website in the world, I guess. I could be wrong, but I think it's pretty powerful. So I've done it because I know it's the most powerful crystal in the world. And I think I'm going to name this video the crystal that heals suffering of the male energy. And I think that's exactly what Moldavite does. It has a unique ability to go into the man, the masculine, and release the barrier, or the walls that hold the most beautiful feminine energy within any man. Because every man has the feminine, but they're so frightened to allow that feminine out. So I guess Moldavite is that what breaks down the walls and opens your heart, because ultimately that's where it is. It's in your heart. And people often ask me, what is the difference between men and women, the feminine and masculine? And I say there's no difference. The only thing that's happened is that the world, the system, the way things have been manipulated, is that it's made us separate. It's made us men and women, when I say that we're actually all one, and we all have the same inside our heart. We're all equal. But the problem is, we've been made to believe that man is man, hard, powerful, strong, fixer, and women is the soft, delicate mother energy, and and actually that's not true. It isn't. It's all an illusion. We are all equal in energy. We are all equal in love. We are all equal in compassion. We are all equal in strength and power. And if mankind could understand that, we could heal the world instantly of all the fears and all of that what I speak about that men have to go through. Because men also have a lot of pain and suffering, but a lot of you guys don't see it as much. You don't know it as much. You would turn around and say, yes, I bloody do. I see it every day. And I'd say, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you do see it because you live with them and you see the suffering, but maybe not as much that you see it as suffering, but you may see it as they're a pain in the ass. Oh my God, what's wrong with them? But guys, you've got to understand, you've really got to understand that men hold a lot of suffering in there and they're not allowed to release it. So if you are one of those guys who have never cried or not cried much, then Moldavite is the crystal for you. Wear it and allow yourself to heal yourself. Because if you live for the rest of your life with a brick wall around your heart, not being able to show your emotions or to be able to release those emotions, it will affect you in a physical way, and it will affect you in an emotional way, and it will affect your life, your relationship, and your love for yourself. So today, take a leaf out of Mark's book, slap yourself across the face anytime you think that you need to fix somebody, and just keep your mouth shut. Go up to your partner, whether it be a male or female, whoever your partner is, and just listen and cuddle them and cry with them and tell them that you love them and tell them that everything will be okay. But don't take things personal, and don't try and fix them, because we're not here to fix anybody. You're here to fix yourself from today. So maybe, just maybe, you might go to your local shop today and find yourself a piece of Moldavite and start working with it. Have a great day, guys. I hope this makes a little bit of sense, and I hope I've tackled the energy of sometimes why your man reacts the way he does in anger, when in truth it isn't anger of you, it's anger with himself because he thinks he needs to fix everything. Have a great day, guys, from my heart to yours. Take care. Bye.